In the 21st century, a weapon will be invented like no other. It will have only one purpose: to return to the present and prevent the future. This weapon will be called the Terminator.
And welcome once again to Spitball Cinema. I'm Shane.
I'm Scott.
I'm Dave.
And we're here to talk about one of the classics, one of the big Arnie films.
Dun 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 dun.
The Terminator.
That's the Terminator.
Dun, dun, dun.
1984.
Gosh.
Yeah, it makes you feel old, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, where were you?
Ooh,
What?
that'd be-
Where were you guys when you first saw that movie?
Oh God, I was 14 years old, so
Did you go see it in the theater?
I don't remember seeing it in the theater. I don't think I saw it until it came on
A
cable. Mm-hmm. And then you just constantly watched it. I mean, it was on all the time.
My parents were out of town, and so my oldest sister Karen took care of me and my brother. But she went and rented some movies for us, and she rented two movies that night. One was a movie called Turk 182,
Mm.
if you guys remember that
Yep.
one.
Was that Timothy Hutton?
Timothy Hutton,
Mhm.
yeah. And then she rented us the effing Terminator, man. Of all, that's how cool of a sister she is.
Hmm.
I mean, shit. We were nervous watching it. Like, our parents were like in the back of us about to beat our ass for watching a movie like that. But both me and my brother fell in love with it. I've never seen anything graphic violence like that, probably ever in a movie. When it's the part where he takes his eyeball out. And
Yeah.
um, but just at the end, I remember we rewound the tape and we stayed up all night and watching it again. I mean,
Well, it's a very fun movie to
it
watch.
really
I
was,
mean, it
man.
really. I mean, you even when I rewatched it today, it still holds up.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, you really
If you watch it in 4K, it's amazing how it looks, especially the
that's
battle scenes.
it's pretty incredible since it was made in '84.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and James Cameron movies seem to do that. The one, I mean, like this
He always,
Terminator, Aliens, they hold up even
yeah.
40 some years later or
Because he
whatever.
films in the dark, so you
Is,
hide a
is
lot
that
of
what it
that.
is?
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Well,
Doom.
he
Well,
created a lot of. I mean, he's so far. Like I heard Michael Bean talking about this that uh, he had this vision of this AI stuff 40 years ago. He was talking about it happening 40 years from the Terminator,
mhm.
and look what's happening now. I mean, it's all this AI stuff's coming around.
He's
It's like
flip.
he had this vision. I mean, he could have, like Michael Biehn said, he could have said 20 years or 50 years, but he said 40 years
Yeah.
for some reason, and he was right. I mean, it's just like, ooh,
Yeah, and
Where were
actually
you when you first saw it?
predated the Matrix, predated a lot of these
ma-
films that really pull on that whole
maybe
AI
James
takeover
Cameron
thing.
is a Terminator. Maybe
I
he's from the
may have come
future.
back from the
Sure,
future.
if he is, you're
You,
awesome,
Yeah.
son.
you know.
Well,
We're
now
fans, big time.
I realized because I went to watch this film last night because I'm like, okay, yeah, it's been a while, and I realized that I last night was the first night that I watched the whole thing, like all the way through.
Wow,
You've
really?
never watched
You
it
Once,
all the
sat
way
down and watched
through?
all the way through?
mm-hmm, yeah, and it's because when well, back in the VHS days, uh, with girlfriend, didn't pay attention to the film at all, and then I would see bits and pieces here and there. But I remember seeing the second film. That one I went to, and I was like, oh, okay, great. People are like, yeah, you don't really have to see the first one to understand this one. No, 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 no.
Hmm.
But over time, I've seen bits and pieces of it to where I thought I had seen it all. I didn't realize it until last night that I really had not um, actually watched the entire film.
Wow.
And it proved that to me when I saw Bill Paxton, like
Hmm.
right at the beginning, as
Yeah.
one of the punks, like punk rocker punks
Yeah.
of the '80s. And I'm just like, freaking Bill Paxton. I have not seen this,
So
and
cool.
it really struck me that I had not seen this film.
Wow.
Dude,
And
and with
That's
the
crazy.
well,
yeah,
with the new 4K restoration, I didn't realize that Arnie's dong was hanging out when he was walking up to Bill Paxton and then the other two punks.
yeah.
I
Honestly,
was sitting there, I don't remember seeing that Terminator in the when I first saw it. But yeah, it looks like he's
that's the
walking with
magic
three
of
legs.
4K.
And
Honestly, I noticed too because I was watching it on YouTube, and I'm like,
Oh
is
wow.
YouTube letting this
I
happen?
mean, I
Because
mean,
this is there you
it's a
go,
good thing a
Mr.
small dog wasn't walking by and got knocked in the head. Because, damn.
call it a pig stain. Shit.
Oh, that's jacked up.
But what? So so basically you could say like last night was the first time you saw it.
Technically, yeah, and
That
it's weird
is
to
so
know.
weird. I did not
Yeah,
know
it's
that.
weird to know the story, know the major plot points in scenes, and yet realize that you really hadn't seen it. Um, like when it starts off, and Artie's coming back, and you get the electricity
Yeah.
crackling around the truck, and I'm like, oh yeah, 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 seen this,
Dude,
and then he shows up, and then I'm like, okay, okay, and then the three punks just there, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I haven't seen this. But yeah,
wow.
so it's like the police station shootout,
Did you
some of the
even know,
flashback scenes, and I'm just like,
did you know
I've seen some of these, you know.
Hendrickson was in it? Did you even
Yeah,
realize
I
that?
love that.
Oh, okay.
Paul Winfield.
Yeah.
Hmm.
God, he's so good in that.
Well, the police
Wow.
station was just full of really good actors.
Oh my
Whenever they had
God.
all the cops and stuff, and then I'm just
Hmm.
like, all in this film.
Well, you know what? That first part when the trash truck driver, the black guy's in there and the electricity, and he's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "God damn son of a bitch, raggedy ass truck." Me and my cousin Jason, when we were watching that, we laughed so hard watching that shit. We would rewind that over and over and over. And even my grandmother started looking at it. She would come up to us and go, "What the hell?" Like, and we would just
Yeah.
we still to this day talk about that, how we just would laugh so hard. My cousins, we would be rolling on the ground listening to that guy and just watching that over and over and over again.
That's
You know, we did that with that and like there a few scenes in Lethal Weapon. It was just one of those things, you know. But I always thought that was so funny, you know.
Oh, it's pretty good.
it's probably one of the few movies that me and my brother rented over and
Yeah.
and over again.
And then the old bum laying
Oh
there,
yeah,
and he goes, "Say, buddy, have you just seen a real bright light?" You know, and we wound that over and over again. That son of a bitch stole my pants.
Why did it have me laugh?
Yeah,
Stole my
he stole my
pants.
pants. But the way he just said, "Hey, buddy, have you seen a real bright light?" And I don't know
That's some epic writing right
if
there.
James Cameron just put that in intentionally to make that
course, yeah.
funny because it was just, or
Yeah.
if it just kind of,
He himself is funny.
I
So.
mean, my God,
Plus,
that's,
it helped break up the nervousness of you watching it,
but
the
it's
tension.
but it's it within the first,
Yeah.
15 minutes of the movie, and so it's just like what in the. But if you go back to look at how when they redid the beginning of it with the
Oh,
futuristic shooting and
yeah.
putting in the
It looks so much
oh
better.
man, it's just
It
incredible.
looks less fake, and
Yeah.
it just
It's a great movie. I mean, am I saying Michael Bihn's right?
yeah,
Michael Biehn. Okay, I always
Michael Biehn.
feel like I'm going to mess up his name and he'll get mad at me if he listens to this.
Come out and curb stomp you.
Yeah, yeah. He might Johnny Ringo me.
Just he was so good in that role in that
Yeah,
movie. I mean, you were just rooting for him, and you're like, how the hell is it they're gonna beat that big ass
yeah,
monster? I mean,
because Arnie, nothing hurts him.
yeah.
But every time Michael Biehn falls or falls down, rolls, he's like, "Ah," you're just like,
Well,
oh man,
she's biting his
He's got all
hand.
the scars
he's got
on
all the
him.
scars on him and stuff. And this guy's been just beat the shit out of it. And basically, why is he doing all this? Because he loves this woman
Yeah,
from the past, from a
yeah.
photograph he
Kind of like
sees.
a Harry Potter,
Yeah, I
type
mean,
of thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But no, you're yeah. Shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so basically this guy's in love with this gal from the past, and that's why, because he has no really, Kyle Reese has no future
Yeah,
because his whole existence is come back,
because he saw that
get with
picture.
Sarah. He's actually John Connor's,
Father,
father, and it's just one big mind that screws with you,
big mind F. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
through the whole film. But it's such a great movie. I mean, as far as the action and the story, the romance and stuff, and it nothing is really overdone.
Mm-mm.
It's very subtle
Very,
and it's to the point.
and that's
Hmm.
what makes the tension so high in the
Yeah.
movie. Uh,
And then Schwarzenegger, I saw
made him a superstar.
I saw an interview with him. They originally were wanting O.J. Simpson to play the Terminator.
You're getting
Oh,
what?
really?
Yes, James Cameron was wanting to have O.J. Simpson play the Terminator. Schwarzenegger
Man, I would love to see
met
that.
him for lunch because Schwarzenegger was trying to get the role of Kyle Reese. But he told Cameron during lunch, he said, "Hey, listen, whoever plays the Terminator, they have to act like a robot. Nothing phases him. They have to. Weapons are second nature. Uh, Getting on vehicles are second nature. Nothing phases him. He has to be like a machine. Everything is second nature. He can't think about it.
Mm.
He's got to do it." And he said by the end of the lunch, Cameron looks at him and goes, "Well, Arnold, you seem to know this character so well. Why don't you play the Terminator?" And he
Man,
goes, "Oh, no, no, no. He said, look, he only has like 27 lines in this movie. He said he had just done Conan and he had a bunch of lines in that movie. He said he felt like he was going to go backwards if he took on the role of the
oh
Terminator
yeah.
because he was just getting to where
Well,
he's
he's
making all these other.
because Kyle Reese
Yeah,
is
I
more
can
of
see
the
that.
main guy in the movie.
Right, right. And so, but Cameron said, "Hey, look, I'm gonna make this Terminator's gonna be the star of this movie." He said he's gonna be the star. Everybody's gonna be talking about the Terminator, and if we do it right and stuff, he said you really should do this, you know. And so
Shows you
the
the
rest of
brilliance of Mr.
yeah,
Cameron.
yeah. And then the only other argument that they ever had was with the line "I'll be back." Arnold didn't think he should say "I'll be back." He thought he should say "I will be back." He's I and
Oh,
Proper
yeah, yeah, the
grammar.
proper grammar. He didn't think that the machine. He thought the machine would use proper grammar. "I will be back," and Cameron said, "No, just say I'll be back." And then they kind of argued back and forth about it. And finally, Cameron said, "Look, I don't tell you what to do. Just say the goddamn line, and just say, just trust me. I'm gonna just get through this." And he said, "Here it is. How many years later, and people are still quoting,
well, it
'I'll be
was
back.'"
yeah, and he used that catchphrase in some other movies after Terminator,
Oh yeah.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
it
well, it
became
became
his
part of the pop culture
pop culture. It became
zeitgeist.
and
So
it worked in
it.
every
Well,
movie.
it became part of
yeah,
Schwarzenegger. I mean, that was his shtick.
yeah.
And
You know.
speaking of Schwarzenegger, he did an awesome job in that movie, acting wise. I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Well,
Yeah, well, they're not flinching and not. I mean, it's hard not
not
to
to, yeah.
react to some things.
right.
So just out of pure nature. So yeah, I thought he did a great job,
I mean,
all things
it's
considered.
yeah, big time.
And
And if you look at him as being a threat, it just makes him more scarier when you're watching the movie. I mean, because like when you watch Terminator 2, she hasn't, at the end of the movie, she knows that the thing is dead, crushed. But his when Schwarzenegger steps out of that elevator and looks down at her, she's still thinking in her head, "This is that crazy
Oh
oh
yeah.
yeah.
monster." I
Yeah.
mean, it's just another big mind f, like you said.
Right.
Well, it's kind of funny you're talking about that dialogue thing. That reminds me of like Tim Curry because Tim Curry
Mm-hmm.
had done um, Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then he went to do Legend, and he didn't want to do Legend because he didn't want his face covered in makeup again.
Right.
And he wanted people to see him, and they're like, "No, no, 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 you don't understand. This is gonna be the cool role, you
This
know."
is gonna be
And
one day,
so,
yeah.
yeah, so it's kind of interesting, that people do,
Mm-hmm.
actors think of these things, but some of the more iconic roles really are, more of the physical acting, and not necessarily,
Yeah.
it's
Well, and I think sometimes things are meant to be. It's just like fate for some reason.
Oh God, yeah.
The way these things happen and the way certain things happen, and where this person doesn't get the gig and this person does, and it wouldn't be the same movie if this person
No, yeah, like
wasn't in
Michael
it.
J. Fox,
Yeah,
jumping in and doing
yeah,
Back to the Future,
yeah. For
you
after
know.
when they had already filmed so many,
Eric
weeks
Stoltz.
with Eric Stoltz,
Hmm.
They said he was too serious in the
yeah,
movie.
yeah. Well, he was too serious of a dramatic actor. He wasn't going where they really wanted that to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And you got Harvey Keitel in Apocalypse Now.
Oh, shit, that's
He
right.
was cast, and then it wasn't working out, so they brought Martin Sheen in. I mean, can you imagine that movie without Martin Sheen? I mean,
I can't.
it's just these things that are kind of meant to be. A person's.
This movie is definitely for Arnold, and
Oh
definitely
yeah.
for Michael Biehn, and also Linda
Oh
Hamilton.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and
Oh yeah.
She
and,
was
and
great,
Linda
dude. You want to
Hamilton's
talk
hairdresser.
about a
Yeah, and her
a
hairdresser.
Yeah,
Yeah, she had that
that
perk.
is the most '80s hair.
yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
couldn't
this wow.
you couldn't get more 80s than that feathered hair she had.
Oh, no
I
doubt.
Or her
mean,
roommates with the big
Yeah, the big curls and
oh yeah.
everything. I was like, oh my
Talk
god.
about an overacting broad, man. I mean, that gal when she's dancing through the whole damn scene, even with what's that guy's name, Rick
Rosovich.
Rossovich.
Yeah, Rosovich.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like throwing down
yeah, he's
with the
still.
Terminator. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
Yeah,
he,
man.
he's
Don't
Good
going.
make
for
me
him.
don't make me bust you up, dude, or man, don't make me bust you up, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, he was
Yeah,
just on Michael Bihn's podcast
He's
and
such a
talking
good
about the
actor.
Terminator and stuff, and the whole. He did a few movies. I guess he was in Navy SEALs with
Yeah.
him too, and he was
okay.
he was in Top Gun and
Then he was in Roxanne with
yeah, with Roxanne, and so here he goes on to do pretty successful career and stuff.
Yeah.
And so this movie, and then you got Paul Winfield. Paul Winfield. I
He's
mean,
such a good actor.
he was in a bunch of stuff. He was in some
Lilies
of the
of the
Star
movies,
Trek
Star
Two,
Trek,
and
yeah.
Mhm.
you
Lilies of
know
the Field,
he was in Elizabeth Field
yeah,
with Sidney Poitier.
yeah.
I
I
didn't.
think he was.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But yeah. And then wait, is
And
this
then
Lance Henriksen's first movie?
I don't think it's his first because he was in Close Encounters. He had a small part in Close Encounters, just like a cameo shot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just
Yeah,
remember seeing him in the. It was one of those things where, like I said, when I was watching, I was like, wait a minute,
yeah,
it's Lance Henry.
yeah.
Just last night, because I just wasn't putting it together, but
Well, and this
he just playing that cop role, and
and basically, he this kind of leads to Aliens later because
oh yeah,
he's
you know
working
that
with
Cameron
Oh yeah.
liked
Cameron
what he was
remembers
doing.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cameron remembers him for some reason. He knew that he would be good for Bishop later.
yeah. Well, number one, he's got a very distinct face
Yeah,
and an ability to really, he's not only distinct but expressive. So he's
very much
very
so.
expressive, very intelligent. He has this intelligence to what
Yeah,
it brings to a
the
role.
camera picks up on that with him.
Yeah,
I mean, it really, even Pumpkinhead, same way. I mean, it just you're drawn to him.
Oh yeah.
You like him. I don't think I've ever seen a movie with him where you didn't like him, even when he was playing maybe a nefarious character. He is still kind of drawn to his performance and stuff.
yeah, nah,
Yeah,
great guy, and
yeah.
it was just a fun. Like I said, it was just weird that I'd never seen the movie before, but it was fun going back there and watching it and say, "Well, hey, this person. Well, they're Bill
And then
Paxton.
you can
There's
see
Lance
how
Henriksen. It's like pretty wild.
Bill Paxton leads to these different things. Being
Oh,
friends with
and aliens and
Michael Biehn, being friends with James Cameron, how
hmm
all these things
And see, that's one
happen.
of the cool thing about James Cameron is that he's got that family of actors that he keeps going to, just like
Hmm.
Scorsese has his, and
yeah,
Well, the John Ford had his own,
yeah,
like John Wayne and the
hmm
John Ford players. Clint Eastwood used a lot of his same
yeah.
character actors and stuff.
yeah.
You know,
But I will say this for Cameron, even though he uses some of the same actors, boy, they don't play the same characters.
no,
They really don't. They which just shows how good of people he surrounded
Well, I
himself
mean, it's
with.
like bringing back Michael Biehn. He is so good in Terminator. You're rooting for him. You're like, and you love him, and then he goes and plays a role like in the Abyss,
right,
Yeah.
right, right.
where you're like you're scared to death of this
Well,
guy.
Michael Biehn always a little jacked up. I mean, even when he plays a good guy, you could tell there's something off with Michael Biehn. He can go there.
A little strung out.
No, I mean, and he probably was sometimes. Sorry, Mike, but I've watched your podcast, and you would agree with me.
Yeah, he's got a good podcast
Yeah,
on YouTube.
just fooling about. It's a really good.
It
We're
really
gonna do a
is.
little plug for him, and I'll get in contact with him and tell him we plugged his.
Yeah.
Tell him how
Yeah,
much we've
yeah,
been sucking up
yeah. We've been sucking up
about
to
his
him,
program. Yeah.
and
Wax in his car.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, that his podcast is really good.
You know
So,
what part when that was really memorable is that scene with our favorite character actor Dick Miller when
oh, that,
when
when he goes into
Swart,
the
yeah,
gun shop.
like yeah, he's like
Mm,
and
yeah.
Schwarzenegger's like naming off all these guns. He's like Uzi 9 millimeter.
Plasma, and he goes,
He's
"Hey,
like,
just what you see, just what
Yeah.
you see, pal. You know, just what you see, pal. You know, yeah,
Yeah, can't buy that stuff in California these days.
yeah. I love scenes like that in movies when they go into a gun shop and they start. It's just like that the Highwaymen with Kevin Costner
Yeah.
when they go in and they start naming off all these guns to get. You're just like, oh wow,
Give me that BAR.
yeah, the
Let me take a look at that
BAR,
Thompson.
yeah,
Hey,
Winchester 30-30.
yeah,
You
get
know,
that Colt 45 right
yeah,
there. Try that. Yeah,
yeah.
take a look at that one.
Which one it'll be? All of them. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that.
I mean,
Yeah.
just the premise of it. This guy's going around and killing all the Sarah Connors listed in the phone book.
Yeah.
That
Which is
could
pretty
be a
wild.
movie by itself, and
Oh yeah, then you throw in this really great little sci-fi
sci-fi
element
element
Yeah.
to it, and it just makes it even better.
Yeah. Well, Linda Hamilton had a really good, uh, really good
Strong,
role. She went from
strong character.
just like pushed around, kind of, she was what, a server,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
at a
Yeah, waitress.
restaurant,
Yeah.
waitress and stuff, and then all this stuff happens, and she kind of learns, and she really doesn't write. She really um, believes the stories that she's being told.
Yeah.
It's like she's like, okay, look, this guy's like way too serious to, you know. But it's interesting because she develops that trust and that kind of that relationship, and then realizes just the huge responsibility on her shoulders, and she starts heading that direction, and
Well, she thinks Kyle Reese is the one stalking her at first, I
right,
mean,
right
Oh
at the
she,
yeah,
very
yeah.
beginning,
yeah, she's like, look,
she's like, this guy's
you know,
following me.
these Sarah Connors are dying, and now I got this guy following me and stuff, and what she didn't know he was her protector, really,
Yeah.
watching out, waiting for Arnie.
Dude,
Yeah.
that scene
And
in
also, like,
that's scene in that club when
Oh yeah.
she's like the
yeah.
cops are telling her Hitler will come
Yeah,
get
you're in
you.
a public place, you'll be all right. Okay.
And that
Yeah.
that cool song is on, and they slow down everyone dancing, and you just see Schwarzenegger just coming
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
out of nowhere, just comes out.
And when he's scanning the club,
Oh
there's a
man,
part where she drops something and she goes down and
Yeah, he goes
he
to pick it
can't
up.
see her.
he doesn't
Yeah.
see her. And then when he finally looks over and sees her, starts zoning in on her,
Oh man,
going up to her, you're like, oh boy, you know, and
well,
and he gets that 45 with the laser, and he has that thing pointed at her head,
she has that look like
like she's just frozen with fear. She can't move.
I would have,
And then Reese comes up and starts shooting away.
Hitting him with that shotgun.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, but between that and Terminator 2 and all that, Linda Hamilton was like one of those early,
strong women of
strong women
cinema. I
characters.
mean,
Yeah, she was like
we
one
had
of those early
Sigourney
ones.
Weaver.
She was following Sigourney's
Yeah.
footsteps,
Yeah.
really. I mean, really.
Big time.
Yeah, but James Cameron's already done really well with strong female leads.
Yes, he
He
does.
does.
Just in
He
general.
does.
Big time.
But he writes them well. But he's a very good writer. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
story wise and concept, and then getting the correct personalities, and kind of taking people on those journeys and stuff.
Well, he's got
And
a
then
clear
finding
vision.
those actors and actresses that can just really
He's got a
bring it
very
out.
clear vision. And
Yeah,
the thing about
almost too
him,
much.
and the thing about him, and Michael Biehn talks about this, how he calls him he really is a genius, because like in the Abyss, they didn't have a way to film underwater where it showed the actor's face where they could breathe and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, he said okay, and he went and invented the
Yeah.
freaking thing.
Yeah.
I mean, who does that?
James
How do you
Cameron.
come up with something and oh, we got a problem? Well, I'll just invent the thing. And he invents the thing, and it's, I mean,
Yeah, you saw their
how do you,
faces perfectly.
how do you know how to do that? I mean, you're a director, but how do you have the knowledge to know how to do that? And like
Well, he may have hired someone else to make the.
but
Or
he, well,
collaborate.
yeah, but I mean, he still has that,
No, he's got that vision.
like he's big with the underwater subs and stuff. A lot of that stuff.
Well, they went to
he
him when those
Yeah.
guys got killed.
yeah, and he said they were
Yeah.
jacked up. They should have never been doing that because he had designed a lot of that stuff when they went down to the Titanic.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is just phenomenal. I was talking to Dave earlier about this. Between him and George Lucas, I mean,
They
they
changed
changed the technical aspect of filmmaking for the next 100 years for people. I mean,
Well,
they've
especially
opened.
the abyss.
Oh yeah.
Just when the water, kind of entity, is going through
Mm-hmm.
there, and the face mimicking and all that. That's like the first time you ever saw that. Hands down, jaw dropping at
Oh,
the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, even to James Cameron,
And that was a
he's got a
nuclear
vision.
power plant that they had taken over and filled the thing
Filmed the
up
whole
with
thing,
water.
yeah.
I mean, geez. I mean, this guy, there's no stopping this dude. I mean,
He's like the Terminator of directors.
yeah,
When you
yeah,
look at the Avatar movies, those are like mind blowing.
yeah. I mean,
Especially in 3D.
Although the stories are a little,
But
well,
but
yeah.
I'll tell you
we
what,
talked about that.
technical side,
Yeah.
Well, there's hands down.
just amazing.
And what he did with Titanic too. I mean,
Oh
that
yeah,
was just
Titanic
incredible.
was just beautiful.
But going back to the Terminator, I mean, this is kind of the film that he kind of and you know what he did before? He did like Piranha. Was it
The part two.
Yeah,
to
Piranha
Part Two?
2.
And they took his creative thing away from him, and they butchered it.
Yeah.
And so after that, he's like, and that happens with a lot of filmmakers. Seems like they'll have some project, the studio takes it over because they don't have final cut, and they butcher it, and that puts something inside these great filmmakers that they never let that happen to them
Oh
again.
yeah, they get their back up on that one. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's like dude.
Yeah, Lucas was the same way. After that, he said, "Mm-mm, you're not going to do that to me again." Like with Star Wars and stuff, he's like, "This is, you're not doing that to my pet project." Which you can understand why.
Well, I'll tell you what, Terminator did such a great job just with the atmosphere. Because you had the dark kind of post-apocalyptic, crushing the skulls with the tank
Mm-hmm.
treads
Oh yeah.
and just that whole feeling. But it was very dark, very gritty, and yet, when he zaps into 1984, it's very dark, very gritty. People
Mm.
living in the streets, and it's just one of those things where it's just like, eh, not too far removed from everything,
Mm-hmm.
other
Much
than
of the
the
difference here.
other than the computers taking over. Which
Yeah.
also it is interesting to go back and watch that movie in the whole context of the AI, because when you start seeing the reports of AI kind of lying to people so that they don't do things, it's like
Right.
when computers learn to be deceptive.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, that's just not a good sign.
Yeah. Are
It's like,
are we starting to get into Skynet right now? I mean, is this Skynet
They're
happening?
probably
we're
already way
that.
beyond that.
Yeah. I mean, what in the heck?
Yeah.
But AI it's an incredible thing, but I could see how it could be a dangerous thing too. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, kind of like the internet a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a great for this different things, but I can see where it can be used for.
Well,
Yeah.
it's strange to me. What's interesting with that is the AI animation, where you start to get like AI films where people are
Hmm.
coming up with stories, and it's just so easy to do. And before, where things would look a little clunky, or you get like six fingers on something or whatnot, it's starting to get better, to the point where it's a little scary. And so
Hmm.
it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact that has on filmmaking and filmmakers. Um, where you got someone cutting edge like James Cameron, who's done everything from the stop motion with the Terminator, when after he's completely burns all the flesh off, and you've got
Mm-hmm.
basically a stop motion Terminator that's tracking and hunting and stalking everybody. Just that change in technology from that to the computer animation to all the digital 3D rendering and things, and now
Yeah.
we're going into this whole new AI, um, kind of horizon,
Getting to the point
and it's
where
just like,
you speak into a microphone and it'll make the movie
yeah, it
out
can
of your
be that
memory.
easy, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be that director that grabs that new technology and turns it into something amazing
I think
cinematically.
it should be
James
us.
Cameron.
I think it should be us.
Yeah,
You
it
think
could
we
be.
should do it?
We should do
Yeah.
it. Try it.
I've actually got some
If
ideas.
you guys know a good AI program, comment on it.
Yeah, there
We'll
you
down
go.
below.
Wow.
But yeah, it made me love science fiction movies even more. It made me an Arnie fan, even though I already liked him from Conan. Um, and of course, James Cameron. I mean, you were like, "Who the hell made that movie?" And you remembered that name, James Cameron.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
After this, you never forgot who
You
James Cameron
knew
was.
yeah,
Linda Hamilton. You knew who she was. You remembered Michael Biehn. You might. I mean, Paul Winfield. I mean, all these actors.
yeah. It's just one of those really solid films that came out and really just laid the groundwork for a lot of stuff to come. And like I said, realize coming to the realization that I had not seen the whole thing from start to finish
God, man, I
before
wish that would have
That's
happened to me.
incredible.
blows my mind, but it shows you just how much of that film is repeated or cited or shown or referenced
Or
or
used.
used in
Yeah.
other things. It to where, yeah, it's just bizarre. I had the whole story in my head, and
And really, after the second one, the ones that followed afterwards, there was something missing with the stories and things. They just weren't as good.
All the sequels.
Yeah, they weren't as good as
mm,
the first two.
I
And
liked.
I think maybe because Cameron wasn't as involved
He
as
wasn't.
I can
I
guarantee
mean,
you that's where it went downhill.
yeah, I
It
mean,
Well,
was
I mean,
because,
because the third one he didn't direct.
mm,
I
right.
think he helped produce or wrote the script or
I'm sure he
something.
still owned the rights to it, so I'm sure he has like
Yeah. See, I
producer
didn't mind part
credits and
three,
stuff.
but after part three, I just couldn't.
Yeah, the one with Kristen Bell and stuff, and the one when Linda Hamilton came back, even though that one was just
I
and
didn't bother
Schwarzenegger
watching.
was in that too, and it just where he was like an aging
Yeah,
Terminator, and it just oh God, you couldn't hardly get through it.
yeah,
And
that's
then
just
did they
cashing some
kill the
checks.
kid,
Yeah,
Uh,
the Eddie Furlong character?
yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
yeah. They
And
wound
you're
up
like, how did you kill
killing John
John
Carter.
Connor?
Yeah,
John Connor gets shot. You're
ridiculous,
like, what?
stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Well,
the whole
they
point of the first
Then you
one. You're
think,
saving
man,
John
they
Connor.
yeah. I think that's the problem. They keep going back and forth to that. Anytime you spend too much time dipping and diving in and out of time travel, it's one of the
Hmm.
reasons Marvel's got so many issues right now
Right.
because they got
Too
all these
many.
multiverse things and all this, that, and the other, and there's no
Y-
stakes anymore, and there's
Yeah, you
you
can't
can
keep
go
up with
back and fix or change whatever you want to whenever you want to, and at some point it loses its impact. But I'll tell you what, Terminator, the fact that he's like, well, yeah, I can only go back once. There's only one shot at this,
it. Hmm.
and the fact that they stressed that so
Yeah.
much in the film, it's like there's no redoing this and there's no going
What do you
back.
say? It was only
Um,
him and me or something. Didn't
yeah, he
Kyle
went
say
through,
that?
and then
And then I
I
went
went
through, and
through. That's
that's it.
it.
There's
Yeah,
no going back. I don't have no future of going back home. I can't get back home.
yeah.
You know.
Which is
So right.
really interesting. I mean, to make that jump and to have John Connor be the one that sends him, knowing very well who he is.
Hmm.
So it's kind of interesting that you get to. I mean, just imagine knowing who your dad is,
Oh yeah,
probably much younger than you, and sending him off. Knowing that he's going to die, but sending him off to meet your mom.
yeah,
Just so that
You
you can
talk
be
about a
born.
Back to the
It's
Future
a
kind of jacked up crap.
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. I
But you
mean.
know what? It was
yeah.
it was a
I'll
great
see you,
story,
Kyle.
and
Go.
they
Don't forget to bang my mom. What?
yeah. Here's a picture of this, way you know her when you see her.
Kyle Reese shows up at Doc Brown's house. Doc, I'm here.
And what a cool ending. When what does that guy say? The storm's coming or whatever.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
But you know what I noticed today? That's a really fake shot. That ending when she's driving off.
Oh
That's not real. That the mountains and stuff in the background, that's not
no.
real.
no, she was just
That's
sitting
the fakest stuff I was like, whoa, where did that come from? I never noticed that it was fake like that.
Well, you're too wild by the movie at that point to care.
Is that what
there.
it is?
And sometimes
I just happened to notice that and I was like, what the hell?
well, there's a couple times that I've noticed lately with some of the 4K restorations where yeah, some things look really good, but some things look a lot less realistic than they did before.
Right.
Personally, I thought the beginning of the film when they showed the Terminators and the aircraft and stuff, to me that was just two steps above a Godzilla film hanging off of two little fishing lines with an
Mm,
aircraft or something. But it wasn't that bad. But to me, it looked more like a model than what I remembered it looking like.
right.
And I think it's because it's a little too crisp and it's a little too defined to where you can see
Or is it that?
the image that much. But
Is it that, or is it just that we have older eyes now? And when we first seen it, we were young and very well, not you. You just seen the thing for the first time, but
right.
like when we saw it, we're seeing it through the eyes of a teenager, and now we're middle age or whatever.
But I think there's still certain effects that hold up and some that don't. Like even in Star Wars, like being a little kid watching Star Wars, and you see some of the special effects that were actually pretty good because they were actually practical effects.
I always
Mhm.
remember
And then they go back and they put in some of that early computer animation stuff, and it stood out and didn't look right. Um,
But as a little kid, we didn't notice that when we were a kid
well,
watching
we
it.
kind of did
you kind of
because you
do, but you
saw
don't
those
care.
Listen, when
squares.
That
you're
had more to
7 years
do with
old,
the
we didn't
story.
give a
They
shit
had the
about the
squares
damn.
when you saw the ships go by. You saw those
But
black.
when you're 7 years old, you're not paying attention to that. You're paying attention to all the spaceships and the fighting and stuff. You don't pay attention to the little squares on the when you're 7 years old. Come on.
It kind of
Now,
stuck
when
on
you
me.
become film geeks and stuff, yeah,
That was the
we start
beginning of.
picking shit apart. But when you're a kid watching it, you don't give a shit what the stop motion is or what they're doing here. You're just wowed by the experience.
Actually, I liked watching all the old World War II movies and looking at the model ships, going, "Wow, that's a
Well, you were
good
just
model."
a damn geek when you were little, I
Yeah.
guess,
I guess so.
I mean,
But no, I'm not. I'm not.
Still is.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not. I'm not saying that it.
what the
I'm
hell?
not saying that it
What the
takes you
hell?
out of the movie.
I'm damn, I'm dead.
I'm just saying that the 4K made it more obvious
Oh,
for
right,
me to where it doesn't ruin the movie. No, not in
right,
the least. It doesn't really pull you out of the story. But to me, I was like, huh, I don't remember it being like that.
right,
But
right.
I also think it was that extra clarity.
There's one scene we haven't talked about in Terminator yet, which was one of my favorite scenes.
Oh my
Well, what's the be?
Well, I don't know. I guess
Thanks you guys for listening to
you
How
guys
about
can you
are
guys
you
can
talking
figure.
about the sex?
I mean, hey, I didn't say it, Dave. You did.
Hmm.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying. I just gonna leave it alone and let people just guess. But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
There's a reason your VHS tape wore out
or
at the
and
same
it
Yeah, I
broke.
was like
spot.
wondering,
I
like,
kept going back to Blockbuster see if they could fix it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
can you splice this together, please?
yeah.
Say,
Can you
buddy, have
uncrinkle
you
this
seen
tape?
another
Oh,
VHS
good
copy?
Yeah. Hey, but you say those big brown
Yeah.
the company because it keeps wearing out in the same
Yeah.
spot.
Thank God for DVD.
Thanks,
Yeah.
James Cameron. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, James Cameron. We're getting some
Yeah.
damn good movies when
Yeah.
we're young, man. That's part of the fun of it all.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up for Terminator.
gotta
You guys
terminate
have
this the whole thing, man.
anything else to add?
God, it's just a solid bit of sci-fi.
Yeah, if you
Solid
haven't,
bit of sci-fi, and honestly, the AI question and component of that is actually really really applicable today. I think it's a fun thing to go back and watch
Mhm.
just for that reason alone.
Right.
I just think it's a great movie. In some parts of you, when you're watching it, it's kind of creepy. It's kind of scary. Like,
Oh, it's very tense.
I mean, you're like, oh my God.
It's not as scary as Michael Jackson's Thriller, though, was it?
All
Nothing.
right, let's talk about your ET show.
Oh my, yeah.
I'm talking Detroit.
All
Sounds
right.
good to me.
If you have any comments, please like and subscribe if you like this episode, and if you want
Make
to
a comment.
reach out to us, you can get a hold of us at spitballcinema@gmail.com. Leave any comments, questions, gripes, complaints, whatever.
Yeah, suggestions.
There you go. All right. Well, no, sounds good. I'm Shane.
I'm Scott.
I'm David. We love you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'm here to help you. I'm Reese, DN 38416, assigned to protect you. You've been targeted for termination.
Why does it want me? Why me?
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator. Your future is in its hands.